Hi everyone, and welcome to week 6 of Enter the Flow. All right, so there were just a few questions this week. One was about alignment as we do the stepping, and I am going to talk a little bit about that, but not too much, because as I said in the written answer to that question, the aim is really for us to let go of some of our preconceptions about things and tune into the energy and let energy be our guide. That's what we're hoping cumulatively to develop as we work through these different practices in this course, so that we can really tune in and follow the energy ourselves. It's a little bit like if you're an artist, you know, sometimes when we have all these rules set for us, where it's like colouring in the lines that someone else has already set. And what we want to do is to develop the ability to, I guess for a start, colour outside the lines, and eventually to simply just take a blank sheet of paper or a blank canvas and work with that, and let it come as an expression of the energy rather than as preconceived moves. But we're building up to that little by little, and certainly it can be helpful to understand some principles as part of that as well. So I'll talk about that a little bit now. So a few basic things, and I think I may have talked about at least part of this before. One of the biggest things for any of our stepping and moving exercises is really to do with the pelvis. If we can keep the underside of the pelvic floor facing the ground, it's going to open things up a lot. So often the tension, and it's the tension that often blocks the energy flow, comes from the pelvis sitting back this way. And when we do this, it locks up into the lower back and the energy doesn't flow so well. If we have the pelvis sitting underneath us, the lower back lengthens and we can move freely. Other parts that may be relevant, particularly to this exercise, is ideally, extending beyond that, you want the shoulders to sit above the pelvis. You don't really want them forwards, you don't really want them backwards, because again, this is going to introduce tensions into the body that may block the energy flow. And then within that, you want the neck to be long, and so on and so on. And so what this will do, when the shoulders are above the pelvis and then the head are above the shoulders, it's going to create a sense of length through the body and a sense of freeness and ability to move. But there are so many exceptions to this, and we want to be able to explore this within the Enter the Flow. We don't want to start to feel like I always have to be very upright and balanced as I turn and move, because there's lots of times when you may actually want to bend as you're stepping and lean and so on. We want to be able to break out of this while maintaining healthy energy flow. There are different reasons for focusing on alignment. Now, one of these is it's about protecting the joints and putting them in an efficient position and so on. And then another aspect is allowing the energy to flow. If we get stuck too strongly within those principles or rules, we don't allow us those to understand and experience those other ways that the energy can flow within. And so that we find that, okay, I can have my energy flowing when I'm in this very upright posture, but I get here and I've got no energy flow. Well, the energy can flow in these bent positions, and we want to learn to do that little by little. For some of you, this might not be something you're exploring in a strong way right now, but particularly as we move towards the end of the course, we want to be able to expand into a variety of movements, and we want to learn how, in these different unusual positions, we can still have the energy flow, that we can create an alignment which may not just be an alignment with the earth, but an alignment between things, that even as we move in different ways, the energy can flow through them. So explore, be playful, let the energy movement and the sense of energy be your guide, more than worrying about any particular principle or rule of alignment. So the other questions were simply about, how does this twisting and turning, this cross-stepping fit together? You know, what's it all about? Well, it is about putting us into a different challenging movement pattern, which a lot of people will find hard to feel the energy movement in immediately. But with practice, you can find the energy flow within it. You can find ways of aligning that allow the energy to flow. And, you know, particularly this week, we're going to use it in the context of swimming dragon. The dragon is, there's different types of dragon. This is a Chinese dragon. European dragons are a bit different. The Chinese dragon have a very snake-like body. They also have arms and legs, but they twist and turn and they coil. And so part of this is we are going to twist and turn and coil as we move. And so in particular, we're going to be combining the stirring the mist, the different movements that we did with that, as well as this twist and turning. And then we'll also combine some of the empty and full and the rise and fall as well as part of that. So as usual, I hope you enjoy your practice this week, and I look forward to hearing from you at the end of the week with your progress reports and any questions that you may have.